The next day when AJ was in, we finally got around to doing the microphone research that we wanted to do. Obviously, I want to be an artist, and at this point in time, I'm making an EP. So, you know, I'm going to have to test out mics to be able to, spit bars and, say stuff. Anything that I want. We had the 2 hours, so we decided to test 3 different condenser mics. It was a SM7B by Shure, the NT1 by Rode, and the Ribbon GA Project by WOM Audio. The microphones were recommended by Chris. We had an interview before the project started, which is also evidenced in bibliography and evidence. Apart from the NT1, we saw all of the microphones in a Gear for Music blog, which was highly recommended for hip hop and rap, for the very sounds, when I'm pulling on your block, you get what I mean, being able to keep it quite even. We set up the microphones in the studio using a pop shield and an acoustic panel attached to each one, apart from the SM7B, since that's already got a built-in pop shield. We set up, there was no isolation, we just set up in the middle of the studio. We only had 2 hours, so we didn't get to test every single preamp that we used with all the different microphones. But the preamps that we did use were the Universal Audio, I can't remember. Hold on, give me a sec. Sorry about that. It was the API 3124 with the ribbon. It was the Universal Audio with the SM7B, and it was the WOM Audio Tone Beast with the NT1. Hi, this is post-production Ruben. You might hear me a lot if I get stuff wrong, which I have done now. Turns out the preamps that I used was the API for the ribbon, the Art, I think, what was the full name for it? The Art Pro MPA2 for the NT1, and I used the WOM for the 7B. Just to clarify things. Alright, back to the video. And we also did another take without the preamps to just compare the difference, because obviously if I'm recording from home or I'm recording in a studio, there's a good chance I won't have those preamps available, or if I had everything wrote and decided to record it to week 10, which I have another slot for, I would be able to. And we put on a NEMS type beat that we found from YouTube, wrote some easy bars between me and AJ, and just repeated the same one bar over and over again, and then sometimes we just have a little freestyle at the end. And the thing that I found was that the NT1 and the ribbon were able to capture more high end of my voice, which in the moment, when you're putting on the headphones and you're speaking to the microphone, you could tell. But there's so many factors, especially if I record at home or if I'm recording in a different place, I've got to take into consideration. For example, the fact that I don't have a pop filter or a mic stand at my house, and the fact that there's going to be a lot of different changes in my voice in the EP, especially since I plan to do a lot of shouting, but I plan to do a lot of quiet stuff, and with my microphone that I'm currently recording with, I can't really do this and can't really do this at the same time. You get what I mean? It's just not a good idea. Overall though, I thought that the SM7B was the best all-rounder. I thought it was the best to be able to capture, me just regularly talking, another guy was in the room, and be able to get the really, really loud, shouty kind of sounds. Also to bear in mind that, there's so many factors to take into consideration for the fact that, don't have a pop shield, don't have a mic stand, blah, blah, blah. And stuff like that means that the ribbon and the NT1 will be very difficult to record at home, where the SM7B will be perfect for recording at home. And my opinion on the results, I thought it was great. I think it's great that I've been able to test out the microphones whilst rapping. I think it's just great. I think it's just something that I needed to do for a while, and finally got done straight away week 1. And it's something that I don't really need to test again, and I don't think I'll have a problem. I don't think it matters crazy much what microphone you use. I think if I used an NT1 in my room, I don't think you would tell crazy amount of difference. It's just obviously you want it to be better than worse, and I feel like the NT1 would be worse, especially if I did record it in a place like my room. If I was in a studio, however, I think that opinion would change, and especially for the fact that we were in a very open room and we weren't in an isolation booth holds a lot of factors to the opinion as well. However, I feel like I got all the information that I wanted. I was very happy with the results. I'm not upset. I don't feel like I haven't done anything. I feel like that's just something off my mind now. I can just, if I get stuff wrote and I want to record it, I can just go, get me an SM7B, and I'm right away.